Well, welcome back to Toronto. And first of all, this is such a cool and innovative film. I mean, was that something when you were approached, you just said, wow, I got to be a part of this?
Yeah, they sent me the script and they had already shot a lot of the stop motion stuff. So they sent me the photos of, well, these are this is the little girl and this is the doll, the little boy, and then they showed me a picture of the flying machine, which is like this piano with these sails coming out of it. And I just thought, wow, I've never seen anything like this. It's so like poetic and I don't know. I was just like, wow. I was so excited they sent it to me. You don't really get such artistic things that often.
Yeah, and when you're working on something like this, Heather, like especially when it's, excuse me, I've been talking all day. Especially when it's something so innovative and creative as this, does it enhance or change the way you act because you're working with puppets and animation and all that kind of thing?
Well, I felt really lucky because, it's something in my own life. I feel like the story of the film is to try to appreciate your own life and find the magic in your own life and sort of get off of the rat race and really see the beauty that you already have. And so I thought that it was just a cool reminder to myself to get to play out the story, to do that in my own life.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about, you're playing a mom in this, so what's with you and the kids these days, the Judy Moody's?
I don't know, it's so funny, like, it's actually kind of fun, it's fun. I like working with kids.
Why, though? Because a lot of people don't.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I don't know why I don't actually have kids, so maybe it's sort of like I have the best of, who knows, maybe I will have kids, but it's like I don't have them, but I get to go to work and pretend to be a mom. It's fun. I have these like beautiful children to bond with, Well,
yeah, tell me about that, because I always find it interesting when, these kids are actors. Okay, let's face it, they know they're pros, they know what they're doing, but
they're on their first. These two kids in this film had never really done film before, so it's like it does remind you of that part of yourself. It's like acting is so exciting. Do you know what I mean? It reminds you of how you felt when you were a kid and you wanted to be an actor.
Right, but because also you have to have a special bond with these kids. They can only act so far, and if they don't like who they're working with, it can make it. But I can imagine working with you would be a big pleasure, and playing their mom had to have been kind of a little bit of a daunting experience. I would think a little bit, maybe.
I mean, I guess, you hope you bond with the kids, but I think that for them, like, they're going to bond with, for both of them, it's their first film. Yeah. So no matter what, they're going to feel like it's an experience they'll always remember, to be a kid and just to act in a film the first time. I feel like, but yeah, I thought they were lovely.
Yeah, there's a lot of firsts on this film in terms of like, 3D and the classical. The music is just... Oh my God!
Yeah,
I hope there's a soundtrack for this.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I used to work at the Hollywood Bowls and Usher, so I would hear all this classical music, but I don't know a lot about it. But in doing this film, I learned so much about Chopin, and actually just watching the movie, I felt like I started to really love it so much. So I feel like doing the film has helped me learn how to love classical music.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because it does open up a huge appreciation, and what's really interesting too is that kids these days, they grow up with their iPods in their ears, like probably out of the womb. They're already listening and listening to, but they don't get to hear a lot of classical music. And I think it's wonderful that they're going to be open to this experience.
Well, the really cool thing about Lang Lang, who's in the movie, is that he's this Chinese piano player, and he looks so young. I think he's in his 20s, but you could believe he was like a teenager, and he's like playing these really complicated classical music pieces, and he's wearing tennis shoes. So I feel like in China, he's inspiring a lot of kids to want to play the piano, because he looks like a kid, but he's playing classical music. So I feel like that's exciting people in China about classical music.
Yeah. If there was any movie that you could go into and be part of and live it, which movie would it be? And not one of yours.
Okay, well, I don't, that's interesting that you would say that, because I guess you'd want to go into a really magical, beautiful one.
Well, whatever. Let's say there's a movie that you've always loved watching, and if you could get into it as, not an actor, go into a movie. You know what I mean? Kind of like a Broadway.
Oh, that's true. That's such a good question. I feel like, some things are popping ahead, but I feel like that I would need to really think about that. Because I'm thinking more of like, as an actress, I would like to have played that part, but if you're talking about just going into the world, to be honest, I never saw the Narnia movies, but I read those books. So the idea of going into your closet and just going into this other world, that was really cool.
Yeah, that would be
cool. And of course, Harry Potter, who doesn't want to have magical powers? I've been really thinking a lot about witches lately. Like, I'm like, wouldn't it be fun to be a witch and have, like, witchy powers?
Well, see, as an actor, though, you could just, whip up a script and be one, right?
That's true. I want to do that.
Well, I'd like to see
if you see
as a
me
witch.
as a witch, you'll know that it was that I.
Yeah, no, we talked about that for sure. What is it, Heather, when you get a script these days and sparks your interest, and why do you want to do? You're so versatile over the since we first seen you on screen and what we
thank
and
you.
you've really grown, I think, as an actor. No question about it. What is it now that when you get something sparks your interest?
I think it always sort of starts with the writing and the story. And I think the people involved definitely make a difference. And I think the journey of the character that you're going to play, for sure.
Because you've worked with some great directors, too. Is there anybody who's been, like, a major influence on you?
Well, it was great, more in the beginning of my career to work with Paul Thomas Anderson. He was really great. But to be honest, I feel like I've worked with so many good people. I really would say that almost every single person I've worked with has, like, helped me so much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Paul Thomas. Oh, my God. What a great role that was.
Awesome.
Do you ever look back on any of your old movies, sometimes flipping around on TV and see yourself? I always wonder that. Or if you're on a plane and
It kind of freaks me out, to be honest, to see my own face. I just, like, it's sort of like... It's freaky, because I can't just step back. I'm just like, why am I making that weird facial expression? You know what I mean? It's hard to just be like...
Do you not like to watch yourself on screen?
I don't really like it that much.
So
I like to think, like, wow, I'm in this movie, and it's cool, like, in this film, I'm like, wow, I got to fly on this piano, and I flew over Europe while this amazing pianist, like, serenaded me with Chopin. Like, that's pretty fun. Yeah. But I don't really like watching my face.
Oh, please, you got a gorgeous face. Don't worry about it. What was it like to work with special effects and all that? Was it a challenge for you?
Well, it's kind of challenging because you have to make it all up and you really don't know if what you're thinking will match, like, what it's going to be. But it's a fun world. Like, you're not picturing that some guy is trying to kill you, Like, you're picturing, like, flying and looking down on the ocean. You know what I mean? It's like being on a flying piano and having this, like, amazing fantasy, like, imaginative, like, fairy tale happening. So that was fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, the hard thing was that my character was supposed to not be enjoying it because I was like, this is so awesome, How
could you not? Really? Like, can we do another take because I'm having too much fun here? Yeah. So what's up next? I think you've got a lot of stuff happening going on, but tell me about what the next... You said with Catherine O'Hara?
Catherine O'Hara. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that's a film that is still kind of being cast. So we haven't started shooting it yet.
Okay, so talk about what you've got coming next. Okay, so I never know with this IMDb.
I've already shot. Yeah, that's this film that I'm attached to that hopefully we're going to shoot in the next, hopefully this year.
Okay.
But I did a movie. It's called Cherry. James Franco's in it, and Dev Patel, who did Slumdog Millionaire, and Lily Taylor, and it's about the porn industry. So that's pretty wild, and it's written by this novelist, this guy named Stephen Elliott. He's really interesting, and I'm in the middle of doing this movie that this director, whose name is Ramin Barani, who's a really great director. This movie with Dennis Quaid and Zac Efron that is about it's a father-son story set in the world of American farming.
Okay.
But it's funny because my best friend from high school, who has such a crush on Zac Efron. She's so jealous that I get to work with him. It's so funny.
So you'll be bringing her to set a few times, I would think.
Yeah.
As her best friend, because otherwise she will not be your best friend anymore.
She texted me a picture the other day. It was her, and like there was a pillow with like Zach's face on it, and she was holding the. I mean, she was joking, but I thought that was pretty funny.
That is hilarious. Do you have like a lot of friends jealous of a lot of people you get to work with?
Sometimes, yeah.
I was just sorry that we didn't get to see you in Hangover 2. I really think we should have seen you there. So you had to have popped up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It must have been fun, though, working on it.
We should have ended up together, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be this sweet romance.
I know. What's up with that? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to talk to Todd Phillips about that. Last question. We're doing a feature on movie theaters, like on the movie-going experience. And why is it, especially as an actress or just somebody as a film fan, why is it so important, to you to sit in an actual theater and watch a movie, not on your iPod or your computer, but in a theater?
Well, I think like for The Flying Machine, because they had sent me DVDs in the past, but when you're in the theater, because it's also in 3D, right? So I don't think you can replicate that experience of just having such a beautiful big picture, and I don't know, the 3D experience of that film is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And do you like to eat while you're watching a movie? What's your favorite snack?
And also, it's a communal experience as opposed to being at your house. You're seeing it with other people, and you kind of hearing their reactions, and you're having your reactions, and it's fun.
Do you eat like popcorn? Do you like to snack?
Sometimes I do, yeah. That's good. Sometimes I sneak food in. That's probably bad, right? I have like certain snacks that they don't sell. I hide it in my purse.
Oh, that's okay. They
Yeah,
don't mind. As long
and
as you don't make
drinks.
a mess, it's okay. Well, always a pleasure talking to you. Best of luck with this movie.
Thank
I
you.
really do hope a lot of kids and parents
fun.
take their kids to
Yeah,
this because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really, really special. Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
talking to you.
Yeah.